Hello there guys, welcome to another my live video. So just going to give you an update on what's going on in the current transfer market. These are only 2 days now remaining in this transfer window, so all the Premier League clubs must finalise their incomings before Thursday. And also, I think they've still got until the second of September, to currently sell players and all that. But we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed he's looking to sign 1 or 2 more players before this window does currently shut. Obviously, we have got 3 players on the board so far this summer. Obviously, we spent £148 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire. And of course, Harry Maguire was officially announced yesterday. So I do believe now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority, will be to recommend a couple of new additions in that midfield, regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba. So I'm going to negotiate with you on this video today. I'm going to give you the latest news about Bruno Fernandes, because more things is updated about him. Also going to keep you up to date with what's going on with Christian Eriksen. And there's been quite a lot of midfielders on our agenda. Obviously, we've been in search for a right winger this summer, but I don't think a current white winger is going to be coming to Manchester United. I am very, very sceptical about that. But I do believe this season, we're going to have a much better season. Last season was a huge disappointment. Obviously, we finished 6th. Obviously, we didn't win many silverware, and we conceded 54 goals last season in 38 Premier League games. But I do believe this season, we're going to have a much better season. I do believe this season our aspirations, our expectations, will be that top 4 and maybe win a trophy as well. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to exceed them expectations. Don't forget, this has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first summer as Manchester United manager, and I do believe in the next couple of seasons our aspirations will be that top 4. But I'm still sceptical about Manchester United winning the league this season. Obviously, we've had a fantastic pre-season, won 6 games out of 6, and obviously now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got more of an indication of what team to go with against Chelsea at the weekend on the opening day of the Premier League season. Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, I do presume they'll be giving their Premier League debuts. So too Harry Maguire, he'll be giving his Premier League debut. Obviously, as it's confirmed, his shirt number has been revealed, and Harry Maguire, will be wearing the number 5. So now we have got that experience there, centre half in. We do need a couple of new additions in that midfield. So there is now 2 days remaining of this current transfer window. Obviously, we've seen the likes of Arsenal invest well this summer. They had a bad start to the summer, did Arsenal, but they've turned it around, because obviously they only got a tight budget. They only got around 40 or 45 million pounds to spend, but they've done good business. They got Nicolas Pepe last week, was it? They confirmed the sign they've in. They've also got William Saliba from Saint Etienne. They've got Daniel Ceballos from Real Madrid on loan, I think it was. I think they're still working on getting the deal over line for Kieran Tierney. I do believe they're in now for Upamecano. Is he from RP Leipzig, if I'm right? So Arsenal's still looking to do more further investment. You've got obviously you've got Chelsea, they can't do any business in the next couple of windows, because obviously they've got a current transfer ban. I think Manchester City are working on getting a deal over the line for Gio Cancelo from Juventus. Liverpool, I don't think they've got anyone this summer, but they invested well in the last couple of windows. Tottenham, they've signed 2 players so far this summer, but they're looking to do more investment. So, like I said, more investment is needed into the Manchester United squad. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently spoke with Ed Woodward, about the lack of our business in this transfer market. But Solskjaer said he's looking to sign 1 or 2 more players before this window does shut. But basically, the board have got to get all the players that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants, because if he doesn't get all the players that he wants, you can say the board have let him down. And obviously, the board, did assure that there was going to be backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this summer. But it was very, very good, that we did get Harry Maguire fully confirmed yesterday. But like I said, further more investment is needed in the squad. Maybe we do need to sell players, because these are problematic players at the football club that do need to be sold. There's been a lot of speculation this summer about players coming in, and of course players leaving. Solskjaer's actual preference was at the end of March. I think it was to get our transfer business completed, by the time we initially went on pre-season. But obviously, that didn't happen. But Ed Woodward has been, overseeing our transfer business. He's been working on, getting deals and that over the line. We do know the likes of Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku have both been relentlessly, linked to move away from the football club. I do believe Lukaku is probably going to leave the football club. I'm not too sure about Paul Pogba at the moment. I think based on the extortion amount we've put on Paul Pogba, this could be the stumbling block of him making his proposed move away and that from Manchester United. But anyway, we're going to go straight into it now. A bit of a transfer rumours to give you an update on some more additional information has updated in regards to Bruno Fernandes. Now, reportedly, this is coming from the Daily Mirror, I think it is. I don't really take much notice of the Mirror, but I'm just going to give you my overarching view of what's been said in the Mirror. So it had confirmed, I think it was quite recently, that Bruno Fernandes' agent has held fresh talks with Manchester United. What? Alright. Over £65 million move and all that, and so reportedly, according to this, something that came out in the Mirror, it said reportedly, Bruno Fernandes had accepted a 6-year deal, worth up to around £106,000 a week, reportedly. Now, recent reports have actually, just come out saying that, Bruno Fernandes has agreed personal terms with Tottenham, because I do believe Bruno Fernandes' preference is a move to Tottenham over Manchester United and all that. So reportedly, it said we'd held negotiation with Bruno Fernandes' agent throughout the night. Reportedly, we've come to an agreement on a 6-year deal worth around £106,000 a week, but Sporting Lisbon have said they want around £65 million. Obviously, Tottenham are keen on either getting Bruno Fernandes or Giovanni Lo Celso for £55 million, but obviously, that's too insufficient, because you've got Sporting Lisbon saying they want £65 million for Bruno Fernandes, and you've got Real Betis, saying they want around £70 million for Giovanni Lo Celso. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes had made his farewell appearance, of course, against Benfica the weekend. Well, it should be his farewell appearance. Obviously, Sporting Lisbon did lose that game by 5 goals to 0 against Benfica. And obviously, reports emerged out last Friday. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, he left Sporting Lisbon's training ground. He left Sporting Lisbon's training ground after a meeting, to finalise his exit away from Sporting Lisbon. So I do believe him and his agent, met up with the boss of Sporting Lisbon. He also met up with Federico Varandas, the president, and he also met up with the Sporting Lisbon director, of course, to finalise his transfer exit. But Sporting Lisbon have obviously come to accept the fact, that he does want to leave to obviously rejuvenate his career. Bruno Fernandes and take his footballing career to the next level. But he came out last week and over the course of the weekend saying that Tottenham have now all of a sudden re-entered the equation. Tottenham have been in for him, throughout the course of the summer, and Liverpool have been, tentatively linked to him, but it's been mainly Manchester United that have been in for him, throughout the course of the summer, because he has been one of our main priority targets. But Tottenham, obviously, officials, flew out to Portugal, was it last week? Obviously, they went to meet up with Federico Varandas, the Sporting Lisbon president, to get a possible deal thrashed out for Bruno Fernandes. Now, I do believe his actual preference is to make a move to Tottenham. Obviously, yeah, Man United have been in, relentlessly, basically, we've been constantly, in talks, with Bruno Fernandes' agent, because obviously he has been to the UK quite a few times, because he is looking for the best possible deal for his client. But with Tottenham, they're looking to do more investment. They've so far this summer they've smashed their transfer record on Tanguy Ndombele, who they paid around £65 million for. Obviously, they got Jack Clark from Leeds. Obviously, he's been loaned back to Leeds for this season. But Tottenham, I think Tottenham's priority now is to recommend the number 10 because obviously they want an attacking midfielder. They're looking for the replacement for Christian Eriksen, because obviously Christian Eriksen is obviously confirmed his desire to leave Tottenham. I think he did confirm back in June that he wanted to leave Tottenham. Of course, obviously we'll go a bit more into the Christian Eriksen situation a bit later on in the video. But yeah, Tottenham have identified Bruno Fernandes and possibly Giovanni Lo Celso as a replacement for Christian Eriksen. But like I said, you had British journalists, coming out the other week, saying that Manchester United have not been interested in Bruno Fernandes all summer, but we have been interested in him all summer because he has obviously been one of our main priority targets, and obviously with the situation with Paul Pogba, it's not having any effect on Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United. So regardless what happens with Paul Pogba anywhere, we still want to bring a couple of new additions in that midfield, because obviously we're intending on keeping Paul Pogba, bringing 2 midfielders in, that can replace Ander Herrera and Mario Fellaini at the football club, because obviously Ander Herrera and Mario Fellaini have both left the football club, but we need creativeness in that midfield, and we need someone that can score goals from that midfield. And Bruno Fernandes is the right calibre player, but he could actually now end up making a move to Tottenham. So I do believe now Tottenham are emerged as the favourites to currently sign the player. Sporting Lisbon wants £65 million. Obviously, for the majority of the summer, well, all the summer should I say, we've been unwilling to meet Sporting Lisbon's valuation. This is seen to be the stumbling block of Bruno Fernandes making his proposed move to Manchester United. At one point, we was only willing to pay up to £50 million for the player. But you got reports coming out last week, basically saying that Sporting Lisbon had denied speculation that Man United had reached an agreement, with them, to sign Bruno Fernandes. It reportedly said, was it the other week as well, that we'd made an offer to Sporting Lisbon through Bruno Fernandes' agent and that. But it only came out the weekend before this one just gone, saying that we'd actually reached a transfer agreement with Sporting Lisbon, and it said reportedly a fee of around 62 and 63 million pounds have been agreed. This was coming from the Italian press, and it did say the other week he was set to fly out to Manchester to obviously undergo his medical and that ahead of his proposed move to Old Trafford. But obviously them stories got proven to be cynical and all that. So like I do believe now we're set to miss out on Bruno Fernandes. I don't think we're going to make any more signings now, because I just don't think we've got enough time, because there is only 2 days remaining in this transfer window. But Bruno Fernandes is only 24 years of age, and he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. And what did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer say at the end of last season? He wants to he worked out his transfer strategy, and he wants to recommend young players to come to Manchester United this summer that can grow, develop and emulate and that into superstars. And Bruno Fernandes is the right type of player for Manchester United, and I would be excited about the prospects of him playing alongside Paul Pogba and that in our midfield. But yeah, I would be very excited about him coming in. But I think his move now to Tottenham, looks definitely, very, very imminent indeed, according to what recent reports have said. But he can score goals as well, can Bruno Fernandes, because he proven that last season, because he scored 31 or was it 32 goals in 50 games. He's still got 4 years remaining on his contract with Sporting Lisbon. Don't forget his initial release clause is £88 million. But obviously, as we confirmed, we are not intending on going anywhere near that figure. But his goal scoring pedigree is very, very good. I think the Man United board a couple of weeks ago did have a slight element of concern about bringing Bruno Fernandes to the football club. Obviously, because he doesn't really know much about Champions League football. Obviously, hasn't really got the experience of playing to the highest level. But he's done well in his 2 years with Sporting Lisbon. I think he also had good spells at Sampdoria and Udinese and that when he was younger. So he spent the majority of his career in Italy when he was younger, Bruno Fernandes. But I think he's now revealed where his next destination is going to be, and that's going to be Tottenham. Like I did say, Tottenham can offer him Champions League football. Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football. So I did say, that could go against us in that aspect. But he's been one of our main priority targets. Some of the recent reports said now that he's no longer on our agenda. Is Bruno Fernandes, and we're looking at other possible targets. But I'm hopeful we can sign at least one more player before this current window does currently shut and all that. So there is still lots to be addressed in the squad. But we've got a history of spending big on players. The hell of a lot of money has been invested into the football club over the last 6 years since Alex Ferguson's retirement. It got confirmed yesterday when we announced the signing of Harry Maguire. Obviously, we got him for £80 million. Obviously, he's now the most expensive defender in the world, and obviously the fee we paid exceeded the fee of what Liverpool paid for Virgil van Dijk back in January 2018. We have now spent this summer. We spent £148 million under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. These 3 players are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first 3 signings. But since Alex Ferguson's retirement, in all the managerial areas, including Solskjaer's now, we have spent £968 million. So that's just short of £1 billion. So if we were to get one more deal over the line before this window did shut, it would take our spending over the 6 years to probably over £1 billion. So if we got Bruno Fernandes, it would take our spending to over £1 billion. I do believe over £1 billion has been spent at the football club, since our Champions League success back in 2008 against Chelsea at Moscow. So a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the football club. But players have obviously come in. Obviously players have departed the football club and all that. But a lot of money has been spent. Like I said, we spent around over £700 million under the Alex Ferguson era. But obviously Ferguson was at Manchester United for 25 years. Obviously we had 25 successful years under Alex Ferguson. Obviously 26 or 27 years Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United, of course. And then obviously Moyes came in. We spent £67 million under Moyes. He bought Mata and Fellaini. We spent quite a bit of money under Louis van Gaal. We spent over £200 million. He bought the likes of Depay in. I think Falcao came in. He obviously bought Angel Di Maria, and he's actually one of our most expensive signings, because I know he's not at the club now, but we paid just under £60 million for him. He bought the likes of Herrera in. Obviously Herrera's now left the football club. So we spent a substantial amount under Van Gaal, and obviously under the Jose Mourinho we spent just under £400 million on 11 players and that. And and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer he's still inheriting all these players. Don't get me wrong. There's only 3 players that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's at the moment. So basically, you can still say he's still in the process of rebuilding. But I don't think Man United are going to make any more signings this summer. So I think now we'll have to look forward until January. To look to get more deals and that out of line. I might be proven wrong. We may make one more signing, but I am very, very sceptical now that's currently going to happen. But I think now with the Bruno Fernandes transfer saga, it is coming to a conclusion now, and I think he's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon, but I do think he's going to be going to Tottenham. Recent reports actually said now that Real Madrid had entered the race for him. You got reports coming out the other week saying that PSG had been in for him and that. But the Sporting Lisbon boss has had his overarching view on the Bruno Fernandes, speculation. He said, that he's unsure if he'll leave. He's analysed it throughout the course of the summer, and he said, clubs have been keen on signing Bruno Fernandes, mainly Manchester United. And the Sporting Lisbon president Federico Fernandes, he's had his overarching view, and he said throughout the course of the summer. Well, he's given his analysis on it, but what he said is, he's revealed how much, what clubs, would have to pay, to basically, convince Sporting Lisbon and that to offload him. So, yeah, we've been in for Bruno Fernandes for ages. You've got the nonsense coming out, was it last week, saying we're only willing to go in for Bruno Fernandes if we can sell Paul Pogba, but that's a load of nonsense, because we was in for Bruno Fernandes even before the, the rumours before the rumours emerged about, Paul Pogba, leaving Manchester United and all that. So, I think we are set to miss out on Bruno Fernandes. And certain players may have reservations about coming to the football club, because obviously, we're not in Champions League football and all that. We've actually failed to qualify for the Champions League 3 times out of the 6 seasons since Alex Ferguson's retirement. It's always hard to get the players that you do want when you're not in Champions League football. But Solskjaer, did describe that it is a difficult window. It is a very, very difficult window and all that. But he just basically said, we need to be patient. We have got good players on the board so far, and this is what he basically said. But I do believe Ed Woodward is still working on getting deals and that over the line. So Bruno Fernandes, obviously, I think he made his farewell appearance against Benfica on Sunday. Obviously, again, brought down in tears. So obviously, that fueled more speculation about Bruno Fernandes leaving. I think that was twice he broke down in tears in space of a week, Bruno Fernandes. So that just gives you an indication that obviously, he wants to leave Sporting Lisbon, and obviously he wants to come to the Premier League, to obviously rejuvenate his career and take his footballing career to the next level. And I think he'll succeed in the Premier League, whether he comes to Manchester United or goes to Tottenham. I think he'll do really, really well in the Premier League. But for me, it's looking like Tottenham are going to get him. With the news now about Christian Eriksen, and I've been reading reports today, and I also give you an update about it on my previous video. Now, with the news about Christian Eriksen, it's saying in the media, Manchester United are in for the player, and it reported says, we are close to reaching an agreement, with Tottenham for Christian Eriksen. Now, we've been tentatively linked to him. Obviously, he hasn't not been one of our main priority targets. I think we're in for Christian Eriksen quite some time back. I do know, for a very, very long time, that Real Madrid have obviously been relentlessly, linked with the player. And I do believe Christian Eriksen's actual preference was a move to Real Madrid, but now I do believe he's open to making a move to Manchester United. Obviously, we're seeing Christian Eriksen as a potential replacement for Paul Pogba, but Christian Eriksen's confirmed he wants to leave Tottenham. Like I said, I think he confirmed this in June, was it? He wanted to leave Tottenham, and I think Tottenham have come to accept the fact that he does want to leave. So this is why Tottenham have targeted Bruno Fernandes or Giovanni Celso as his potential replacement. Now, potentially Real Madrid have been in for him. Obviously, it isn't Real Madrid's top priority, because Real Madrid have confirmed that Paul Pogba is their top priority. So Real Madrid's preference is Paul Pogba over Christian Eriksen. Looking at it from a financial point of view, it probably would Christian Eriksen probably would cost Real Madrid a bit less than Paul Pogba. Reports were actually saying that Daniel Levy and Tottenham have put around £130 million asking price on him, but I think now Tottenham are willing to lower their price tag. But I think we'll be keen on paying half of that £130 million that Tottenham are demanding. We do know that Daniel Levy is a hard negotiator. He's proven to be a hard negotiator and all that. As Daniel Levy. But Christian Eriksen has just basically confirmed he wants to leave Tottenham. He's predominantly an attacking midfielder. He's been at Tottenham now over 6 years, I do believe. I think in the Premier League he's made 206 appearances. He's scored 49 goals, and I think he's provided around 60 assists. I think he's at around 246 appearances in all competitions. Tottenham did pay just around 11.5 million for him from Ajax back in 2013. But I do believe, reflecting on his impressive performances, Christian Eriksen's, I think he's actually won the Tottenham Player of the Year award on 2 occasions. He's also won the Danish Football Player of the Year award, I think on 5 occasions. I think he also won that last season. I think he's got a year left on his contract, or is it under a year that Christian Eriksen has got left on his contract. He's still got a lot of development in him. He is experienced as well, which is beneficial for Manchester United. He's 27 years and virtually still got a lot of years ahead of him. But yeah, I think he's just got under a year left on his contract. I think he's also 6 foot, so he's also, very, very tall. As Christian Eriksen reportedly says, we was willing to give him around a 5-year deal, and that says we're close to agreeing the personal terms. Obviously, no figures yet come to an agreement between Manchester United and Tottenham, so obviously we'll have more negotiation with Tottenham over coming to an agreement on a fee. But obviously, I think I was reading a report as well. If obviously if Christian Eriksen doesn't leave Tottenham by Thursday, I think Tottenham are braced for European clubs, to come in and make cut price bids for Christian Eriksen. But Tottenham value him at around £130 million. I think he's going to cost us in the excess of from between maybe 60 to 70 million pounds. So maybe Christian, we've basically gone in for a late, we've put a late move in for him. We've put a late move in for him. We've taken our chances, see if we can get a deal over the line for the player. Tottenham will generate a substantial amount definitely for his departure. So obviously with that money they generate, they can afford both Bruno Fernandes and Giovanni Lo Celso. But like I said, I think Christian Eriksen would be good for Manchester United. It's also very beneficial as well because he's Premier League proven as the player. So I think he would be good for Manchester United. But for me, I don't think this will happen. For this maybe just the media justifying their existence on the majority of this story about Christian Eriksen. But I just give my overreaction view anyway of what's being said in the media, whether it's true or whether it's the stories are proven to be cynical. I just give you my overreaction view on it. So, like I said, when it starts reporting in the BBC, which is a very reliable source, when it starts reporting in Sky Sports, that's when you can believe there's some credibility in a certain story. So, like I said, I'll update you more about Christian Eriksen when more things does come update. With the Giovanni Lo Celso situation, obviously, Tottenham are tracking him as well. I think Man United were in for him at one point, but Tottenham have obviously it's actually been one of Tottenham's main priority targets as Giovanni Lo Celso. Real Betis do want around £70 million for him. I think Tottenham a couple of months ago had around a £52 million bid turned down for him, but Tottenham have been locked in negotiation with Real Betis for at least for months now, several months should I say. They've been locked term in negotiations. Obviously Argentinian, 23 years of age, obviously scored 16 goals last season for Real Betis. I think his initial release clause is £88 million is Giovanni Lo Celso. If I had to choose out of Bruno Fernandes and Giovanni Lo Celso, my actual preference would be Bruno Fernandes. This is if I was a Tottenham fan because they're in for both them, but we know Man United are in for Bruno Fernandes. But Giovanni Lo Celso, he last season was his first season with Real Betis. Don't forget, he spent the majority of last season on loan with Real Betis. Obviously, Real Betis did get him from PSG. They paid the initial loan fee, then they had the option to buy, and they did make the deal permanent back in April. And obviously, then, they made the deal permanent back in April. So if Real Betis do sell him, PSG, do benefit from it because PSG do get a percentage of any sale for the current player. So yeah, Tottenham are still in there for Giovanni Lo Celso. I was reading reports yesterday saying that Tottenham and Real Betis had come to an agreement on a £55 million fee. So Tottenham had agreed a transfer fee of £55 million and all that. This was coming from the Sun. The Sun's not really reliable, let's be honest, but it said Tottenham had paid around £47.6 million up front, with £7.4 million in bonuses and that. But yeah, Tottenham have been tracking him all summer. But Tottenham have got quite a few other players on their agenda. They don't forget they've been in for Ryan Sessegnon this summer. I think they've actually been relentlessly into Ryan Sessegnon. They've been long admirers of the player. They've also been don't forget for Paul Dybala. But Tottenham to get Dybala, they probably have to smash their transfer record. So obviously, I think Tottenham's expectations this season probably will be to win some silver. Pochettino's a really good manager. He's well Premier League proven in that. He's been at Tottenham now over 5 years, but he hasn't got that proven pedigree yet of winning any silverware. So this is what he'll want to do. Tottenham got to their first Champions League final last season. They had a few injury problems last season. They had Kane injured. They had Dele Alli and that out injured. Their two main players, of course. But they have got a pretty decent squad now. It's the best Tottenham team I've seen in this generation for a long, long time, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So I think with the Bruno Fernandes situation, I think Tottenham now are set to win the race because it's reportedly saying that the personal terms have been agreed with Tottenham. Obviously, no figures come to an agreement yet between Tottenham and Bruno Fernandes, just like Man United haven't come to an agreement on a fee, with Sporting Lisbon. But I read the Mirror. The Mirror said basically that a 6-year deal is being accepted by Bruno Fernandes worth around £166,000 a week for him to come to Manchester United and all that. But the Mirror is not really reliable, let's be honest. So that's the latest news on that. But like I said early on in the video, I think, Manchester United need to sell players. I think we need to get rid of Darmian. We need to get rid of Rojo because they are two problematic players at the football club. With Darmian, his Manchester United career has been mainly affected with the amount of injuries. no, Darmian, sorry, hasn't really been given the chance. That was my mistake. And with Rojo, his Manchester United career has been mainly affected with the amount of injuries he has sustained. You know, Darmian has, I think, sustained a couple of injuries. I got it wrong then. I meant to say Rojo without Darmian, mum. Sorry about that. But yeah, Darmian hasn't really been given a chance. You know, with Rojo, his Manchester United career has been mainly affected with the amount of injuries sustained. So I think we sold Diamond and Rojo. You know, don't forget, we've got till the 2nd of September to negotiate the sale of players. So I think we could generate around, 35 or 40 million pounds for the departures of Diamond and Rojo. And obviously, we've just paid 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. So if we sold Diamond and Rojo, we'd generate half the money than what we paid for Harry and Maguire, of course. So we'd generate some of the money, half the money back than what we paid for Harry and Maguire. So Diamond and Rojo definitely need to leave the football club. But I thought, you know, I think there's a few players that need to leave. You've got Matic in that midfield. Matic is too inconsistent in that midfield. He's too slow, too ineffective. He's aging up. He isn't getting any younger and all that. And he's one of the problematic players at the football club. We paid £40 million for him, didn't we? You know what? A couple of years ago, we paid £40 million for Matic. I thought we overpaid for him. I've got the same thoughts about Fred. I thought we overpaid for Fred. He's actually one of our most expensive signings, and we paid, £50 million for him last summer under the Jose Mourinho era. Don't get me wrong, I think the likes of Fred, McTominay and Pereira are better solutions than Matic, because I think they're more mobile and better on the ball. But I've still got strong concerns of our midfield as it stands at the moment, because I don't know if McTominay's got all the attributes to succeed at Manchester United. I don't know if Andres Pereira has got the attributes to succeed, and I don't know if Fred has got all the attributes to succeed. This is why I did say, we need some reinforcements in that midfield. And I know with Paul Pogba, he's obviously been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. We do know Juventus, of course, there's been talks about him making a return back to Turin. Don't forget, he did have 4 good years in Turin, did Paul Pogba. Hasn't really replicated this since he did make the return to Manchester United. Obviously, he's been here now over 3 years, and in that 3-year period or so, he's, for the majority of it, he has actually been really, really inconsistent as Paul Pogba. Don't get me wrong, he did well throughout pre-season. He did well in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. But I think he will get better, Paul Pogba, when he's at his best form. He's definitely like 2 players in one. He's one of the best midfielders in the world. Reports came out the other week saying we want £180 million for Paul Pogba. So basically, we're demanding more than double than what we initially paid for him from Juventus back in 2016, because we paid £89 million for him. He's our most expensive signing. Harry Maguire is second now most expensive signing in the Premier League, just behind Paul Pogba. But yeah, his first choice preference this summer has been Real Madrid, and his likely destination, of course, has been Real Madrid. But it is Real Madrid's #1 target. Don't forget, Real Madrid have spent a substantial amount this summer. They spent £300 million on 5 players, or is it over £300 million? Don't forget, they spent around £150 million on Eden Hazard, if I'm right. But yeah, they've spent £300 million this summer with Real Madrid. I think they have offloaded a couple of their players, so they have generated some of the money back that they have spent. I think they've generated around £100 million. Obviously, they've been working on, trying to offload James Rodriguez. Obviously, there's been a bit of speculation about Isco, because obviously now he's actually out of favour with Real Madrid. But Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of Paul Pogba. A couple of months ago, Paul Pogba said he's seeking for a new challenge. He publicly admitted that he wants to leave Manchester United, and he was orchestrating on putting a transfer request in. Solskjaer was talking a lot about Paul Pogba quite a few weeks back, and he says he's a fantastic player. He's got a heart of gold. And basically, Paul Pogba's agent came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he said Paul Pogba is in the process of leaving the football club. And I think Solskjaer's recently come out and he said he's convinced that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say he wants to build a side around Paul Pogba and that. But I think with the captaincy, I'm not too sure I was going to get that. Obviously, Harry Maguire demanded that he wants to become the captain of Manchester United. I think we should give him it, because I think he'll be a great leader in our backline. I think he'll do well alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline. Harry Maguire. So I think we should consider maybe, giving Harry Maguire here. Obviously, Solskjaer he had revealed that he had considered Paul Pogba for the captaincy this season, to try and convince him to remain at the football club. I think, there's talks of Ashley Young getting it. Obviously, there was talks of also, David De Gea and that getting it. But, with Paul Pogba, he's still got 2 years left in his contract with Manchester United, with an option to extend it by a further year, and he's on around £290,000 a week. And we've got quite a few players on big contracts and all that, but we can afford it because we're a massive club, massive revenues and that. I think didn't Paul Pogba have a 25% wage cut, 25% cut off his wages, due to our failure to qualify for the Champions League. But Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola has been trying to find Paul Pogba a new club at least for the last couple of months now, and But yeah, we still do know how much of an imperative player he is. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, anyway, wants to build a side, of course, that can win trophies, and he wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's mission. I know what squad he wants to, rebuild. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following Alex Ferguson's philosophy, and he believes he's following a policy as well as his philosophy that proved successful under Alex Ferguson. So basically, I think he'll get us back to being a competitive elite level football club. But I think this season we will have a much better season. We do look much better in the attacking third of the pitch, which is very, very good. We do look much better because we've got that pace now up front, and that's something Manchester United lacked last season, was that pace. This is why we didn't score enough goals last season. This is why I wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. I think we only managed 53 goals last season in the Premier League. I think we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League, like I said last season. But we do look much better now in that attacking third of the pitch. But analysing our squad, we've got quite a few upcoming players. We've got fringe players. Obviously, we've got a lot of experienced players, and the majority of the squad got their chances throughout pre-season. I do believe the majority of the team will get their chances in the Premier League this season as well. So yeah, and there was quite a few players anyway, that didn't play throughout pre-season and that. Obviously Sanchez didn't play because I think he's been injured. He's sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, and he needs to improve this season, because I do believe Sanchez will get his current chance. I think he did sustain an injury whilst he was on Copa America duty, with Chile and that, and he didn't play. Lukaku, of course, didn't play on pre-season. Obviously Solskjaer said that Lukaku had some kind of an ankle problem. This is why I didn't play on pre-season. Obviously, he's been linked to a move away from the football club. Darmian didn't play on pre-season. I don't think Lee Grant did, but Lee Grant travelled, but he didn't play because he's obviously now been injured. Foster Mensah, I think's been injured. Demetri Mitchell, and that's been injured. But he was good on pre-season. 1-6 out of 6, 12 goals scored, only 3 goals conceded. And yeah, so I think we're going to have a better season this season. Chelsea's going to be a tough encounter on the first game. Don't get me wrong. They've got obviously Frank Lampard in now. They have still got some problems because obviously they lost Eden Hazard. Obviously, they've got a transfer ban. Like I said, they can't do any transfer activity in the last couple of any transfer activity in the next couple of windows. Can Chelsea and yeah, but. And yeah, so there's been a lot of players on Manchester United's agenda, throughout the course of the summer. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was recently, talking about our recruitment policy. But people were saying at the start of the summer, we should be sensible with our recruitment. Obviously, as he updated you earlier on, in regards to Romelu Lukaku, obviously as it did confirm yesterday, obviously Romelu Lukaku was training with his former club Anderlecht. Obviously he waits to leave Manchester United basically. So it's basically Lukaku is trying to force the move. Obviously he's becoming infuriated now with Manchester United. Obviously now Inter Milan have revived their interest in the player following the swap deal between Lukaku and Paul Dybala. It's obviously broken down. So now Inter Milan have obviously revived their interest. Reportedly, if reports are believed to be true again, it came from the Italian sources, saying that Inter Milan have put a new £73 million bid in for Lukaku. According to reports, Antonio Conte has confirmed that Inter Milan, still remain interested in Romelu Lukaku. But we do know for the majority of the summer it has been mainly Inter Milan that have been in for him anyway. Inter Milan have held negotiations with Manchester United. Obviously, Inter Milan, Lukaku has been speaking about his proposed move to Inter Milan. Don't forget, Inter Milan had a £54 million bid turned down. They also had a £54 million bid turned down. They also inquired about getting Lukaku on a 2-year loan with the obligation to buy, but Manchester United turned this down. We're only willing to let him go on a permanent deal. So what we said to Inter Milan is, and we've said it to them throughout the course of the summer, we want 75 or 80 million pounds. So basically, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because obviously, we paid 75 million pounds for him. Obviously, there were several add-ons included in the deal, which did potentially, rise it to 90 million pounds. So there were 50 million add-ons included. So we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him. For large portions of the summer, Inter Milan have been struggling to meet our valuation. Obviously, I think they've been under financial fair play regulations, or still are under financial fair play restrictions, and Inter Milan have obviously been trying to offload a couple of players, to help them generate funds. And Antonio Conte has identified Lukaku as his number one target. Don't forget, when Antonio Conte was the manager at Chelsea a couple of years ago, he actually wanted Romelu Lukaku at that point, but he actually turned down Chelsea, did Lukaku, and obviously ended up coming to Manchester United. But Lukaku has still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United, don't forget. He's got 3 years left on his contract, but it was Lukaku actually, described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. So actually, he did want to go and play under Antonio Conte's guidance, because maybe he believed he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance and that. But yeah, so it has been mainly Inter Milan that have been in for him. Obviously, Federico Pastorella, Lukaku's age, he's held quite a few talks with Inter Milan. Like I said, he's been in Milan a few times. He's looking to get his client his move. He's looking to get a client, Lukaku, a move to Inter Milan completed in that. And but I think our valuation has seemed to be the stumbling block. Even though recent reports, actually saying, look, Lukaku had agreed to personal terms with Juventus. Obviously, he's been tentatively linked with Juventus. He hasn't really been linked with Juventus really throughout the course of the summer. Like I said, the only real links emerged within the last week, of course, when the Dybala rumours started coming across the media. Obviously, it said Lukaku anyway had agreed to personal terms with Juventus, and basically, the deal hinged on Dybala making agreeing a move to Manchester United. So obviously there was talks about Dybala and Lukaku as a swap deal, but now the swap deal, of course, is dead in the water, because we're not in now for Dybala. We've ended our interest, due to his reservations about joining the football club. Also, due to his extortionate, wage demands, because Dybala said he wanted 350 grand a week. Obviously, as well with the agent fees included. So we have now obviously not ended our interest in Dybala, who will probably now end up staying at Juventus, even though he has initially lost his place in the Juventus team. But I thought there was some credibility in it last week when Sky Italy came out from Sky Sports. It was reported in Sky Sports, and they said Man United and Juventus had agreed a swap deal in principle involving Romelu Lukaku and Paulo Dybala. And I think it would have been beneficial for the swap deal to go through. I would have liked it to go through. Because obviously, Lukaku surplus to requirements at Manchester United. You've got Dybala that surplus to requirements at Juventus, because he lost his place in Juventus side last season. Did Paulo Dybala to obviously Cristiano Ronaldo. We know Paulo Dybala's agent was in London last week. He obviously held talks with Man United. He held secondary talks with Man United about the personal terms, and I did say the personal terms was obviously going to be the stumbling block of Dybala coming in. And also I think the Juventus director as well. Was in London. He was in Manchester having negotiations about Paulo Dybala's move to Manchester United and that. But Dybala said he wanted 350 grand a week. So basically now we have dropped our interest in the player. But like I said, it would have been essentially it would have been good if the swap deal had currently gone through. Obviously, now I'll give you the news about Mario Mandzukic. We've ended our interest in the player due to Dybala, rejecting a transfer to Manchester United. So I don't think Mario Mandzukic is either coming in now. Even though recent reports said that a £15 million fee had been agreed between Man United and Juventus, and so it broke out from numerous reports on Sunday saying that Mario Mandzukic agreed personal terms with the club. He said he agreed a 3-year deal worth around $6.5 million a year, which equates to around 120 grand a week. And it reported said, he'll get around a 35% increase on his wages and that. And he said a £15 million fee had been agreed. So what he said then, it was looking imminent. He was going to be coming to Manchester United, Mario Mandzukic. But now it's not going to happen because we've ended our interest in the player. Plus, I think Juventus will be reluctant to offload him anyway unless they could find a replacement for him. Yeah, so the main part of this video, was to give you the latest news about what's going on with all the transfer news, including Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, and all that. And that's what we always do on this channel. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, like, on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.